me the Dark One, others the Lord of Death. To most, I am Dracula.
Wait! Before we get started on this film that's in theaters right now, please do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button right down at the bottom. And this movie is starring Nicolas Cage as Count Dracula, and is starring Nicholas Hoult as Renfield. The dilemma here is he wants to get out of a controlling relationship. He runs into Awkwafina's character, which is a cop, and they basically form a bond together.
When I saw the trailer, I was like, that movie looks terrible. I was like, I don't want to see this. This is like trash, complete ass. Nope. I saw it anyway. And you know what? I actually am kind of happy I saw it. The movie isn't like, you know, this isn't like a 5-star A++ type movie.
No.
But when I think about what I want to see in a movie, this actually checks off more boxes than I thought it would. So first of all, it's a mid-budget film. They're rare today. It's a unique premise. I know Dracula is an established character, but it's still more or less a unique premise because this movie focuses more on Renfield and less on Dracula. And I'm like, okay, so that's cool. I like original films. I like original things, and I support mid-budget films. That being said, the story is a little shaky though, right? It's a little shaky. And the themes are laid on super thick, where this film is about a toxic relationship between the subordinate Renfield and the dominant Dracula. So like that kind of stuff, I think that's cool. I think that's original, but that's not enough to keep me through the film. So thank God for Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage turns in a typical over-the-top, bizarre, outlandish performance as Dracula. And I think that really helped propel the film. I think I was inspired casting, and without him, I think this would be a very generic-y, run-of-the-mill, unsubtle film.
Dracula is looking mess. One thing I gotta say about this,
the bad. Like Dracula look bad. Like god damn.
The practical effects in this,
yeah, loved it.
Love it. I love it.
And they were jiggly. Like he's got like his face is all flayed and effed up. And you know, Nick Cage, he's got like sometimes he has got like a little jerky and the little prosthetics are like jiggly. It looks disgusting. Like
reminded me of The Fly.
Nasty. Yeah, it reminded me of The Fly. Yeah. And you could tell Nick Cage was really loving it. He was really hamming it up. He's sitting there holding a martini glass filled with blood while sipping it. You know, like he could tell he's really enjoying himself.
Do you feel like this film was kind of like two movies in one?
How so?
Awkwafina's character is basically after this mob.
The Lobos crime family.
The Lobos crime family, yes. Led by this ruthless woman and her idiot son, played by Ben Schwartz. He plays Sonic the Hedgehog. I kind of felt like that was tagged on to move the story, move a certain part of the story along that connected at the end. But I kind of think that dragged a little bit.
I think you're right. I know Awkwafina's been getting beat up lately. Oh my God, she's been getting dragged through it. But you know what, to be honest, when Awkwafina's on the screen, she is usually the most magnetic force. See, she usually is a very good actress and very funny. I feel like she was like deeply unfunny here. I don't know what was going on with her. I don't mean, you know, maybe it's all her bad press that she's been getting lately.
They made her character so one monotone.
Maybe that's what it is, because she's like, she kind of played the straight guy in a lot of the scenarios, and she's such a big personality. It's kind of a shame that she was relegated to the straight guy. And you're right. Every time they showed the Lobos crime family or Awkwafina, the film is like,
can we get back to the?
Yeah, you're like, where is Dracula? And then Dracula comes up. It's like the movie is suddenly reanimated. You know, every scene with Nicolas Cage, I loved.
In the beginning of the film, they're explaining Renfield's character. And they go back to the past where they show old version of Dracula. And I thought that was really, really good. The black and white, it looked like a 1939. I said, oh, I love that.
Yeah, and you could tell Nick Cage was like all into it. Like, I really like that kind of stuff. And I kind of wish that was the bulk of the film. I really don't want a Renfield film. I want a Nick Cage Dracula film. That's the movie. That's the movie I wanted. The themes of Renfield are interesting. Renfield is tired of being Dracula's subordinate. Renfield, like you said, he's trying to get his independence. He gets his own apartment that's like super bright and, you know, very conventional because he went to Macy's to shop. And Dracula's there. Renfield is trying to establish his dominance, and he's like, "You're the monster, and I don't want to be with you anymore." And I thought it was interesting how Dracula was like trying to gaslight Renfield.
Yes, he flipped it. He flipped on it.
Yeah, he tried to flip it. He's like, "You collect people for me to kill, and you call me the monster?" Like, all I did was offer you eternal life, and you turn it down and you spit in my face, and you know, he's like flipping it on him, and Renfield's like, "Oh yeah, okay." Yeah, you know, it's like every toxic effed up relationship. So that kind of stuff I liked. It is ham-fisted now. We ain't talking. This ain't no subtle shit. Okay, this stuff is jammed right down your throat. But I thought that was interesting. They used the relationship between Renfield and Dracula to, you know, explain like
talk
toxic
about
effed up
codependency and
yeah.
But when you have that, and that's the core issue, and I love that core issue. But when you throw in this gangster mob stuff, it turns the movie into something else, and I'm just like, yeah.
And I didn't like that Renfield had like superpowers and he's like jumping around like a Power Ranger. I didn't like that. But I did kind of like how they played with the gore, right? Renfield tears some guy's arm off, and then he's using the arms like nunchucks or something. You know,
he really throws the arms into people to impale them into a door.
Yeah, impale them in the arms.
Yo!
And Awkwafina's like, that shouldn't work. Like, you know, she's like looking at it real funny. So that kind of stuff, you know, I like that. So this movie had like glimmers of, I think, a really clever, funny movie, but they really should have worked on the scripts just a little bit more, and I would have probably preferred maybe a slightly bigger budget. So, because the budget definitely showed.
The budget definitely showed, and they are not going to make that money back because it's reported the first week it made $7.7 million this weekend. It's the fourth, and it bombed.
So it kind of sucks because, again, I kind of wish we would get more of these mid-budget films. I think there's room. I think there's space for that. But I think this probably what solidifies that mid-budget films now belong on streaming. They belong on Netflix. You know, yes. you don't put these in the theater. No one left their house to go see Renfield. And if you didn't go see it, you missed a really interesting and funny Nick Cage performance. So
creative.
I think there are good things here.
I liked this movie because of Nick Cage. I came into this looking for Nick Cage to be wild and crazy Nick Cage. And boy, he put on. Nick Cage was the reason why I came. What made me stay was the concept of codependency and toxic relationships and stuff like that. What made me want to leave is the whole vibe with the mob stuff with Awkwafina, and it felt like it didn't fit all the way.
I can see that.
But it doesn't make this a bad film. So I'm going to have to give this film a C+.
C+, okay. Yeah, I'm giving this one a B. I actually enjoyed my time there. I thought the movie had some really smart...
Scratch that out. B-.
B-, okay. I thought the movie had some really clever ideas. I like the idea of the film, but it needed some help. It needed just a little more dressing, you know. The movie even does things that it kind of, I always talk about how I hate magic blood, right? I'm like, I hate magic blood. It cures everything, you know? But this movie had magic blood, but it made fun of it, right? Like at the end, they're like, thank you for using the magic blood. He just had it in like a little lemonade thing. Like, thank you for using magic blood to save everybody at the end of the film. You know, so they're really making fun of it. So the movie isn't like dumb. The movie is smart. It's got some clever themes, and it puts them on, and it explains these themes in, I think, a clever and creative way. But like you said, the B plot with the mob, that needed to be massaged or cut, because you're right, that didn't fit. Awkwafina, I understand her role in the film, but every time she was on screen, it really dragged things down. So if I were to give unsolicited advice, I'd say triple the Nick Cage, and, you know, cut down on like literally everything else.
With this type of vibe, of the whole film, she needs to match that. You know, her character needs to match that vibe. And she
can do that. And like we've seen her do that. Like, but you're right. She got I think you're totally right about that. Nick Cage was on a different level, and like literally no one was up there with him. Like obviously Nick Holt, that wasn't his role. His role is to be meek and, you know, nervous. But I would have liked Awkwafina to be wild and over the top too. You know, I would have liked everybody to meet Nick Cage up here, you know, on his crazy level.
Do you recommend people going to see this film?
To go to the theater, you know what? No, don't go see it in the theater. But I would recommend you see it when it comes to streaming. I don't think this is a waste of time. I think this is an interesting film, and I think you'll probably enjoy yourself.
You rent it for like $20 and have some fun, popcorn type of film. It's funny. It talks about a serious subject of toxic relationships and trying to get out of them, because that happens in real life. Gaslighting. They talk about gaslighting in this.
But it's, again, I think it's clever that they use Dracula because you know, people in these kind of relationships, they call them like emotional vampires. You know, people that just like
suck the blood out of you.
Yeah, suck your life force right out of you every time you're around them. So like I can see what they're doing here. You know what I'm saying? It's just all the pieces didn't quite match up perfectly. You know, but I can see what we're doing. And like I said last time with Mario, even if the story isn't perfect, just try. You know what I mean? Just try. And for me personally, I'll be entertained by that. That's fine.
They definitely tried, and I kind of feel they succeeded. So.
No, they didn't quite get there, but they tried.
But more importantly, do you recommend this film? Please get in the comments and let us know what you thought of Renfield.
Now, let's eat.
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Man, we have been gaining some subscribers in here in the last freaking 30 days. You guys are awesome. Like 30 subscribers, man. It's been just knocking on board. And it's all because of you. All because of you guys. So if you are new to seeing us, please do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button right at the bottom. All right. And if you did like our review, please hit that thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. Or you can hit the thumbs down, whichever you choose. It is your opinion. Just remember one thing. It's mostly wrong. See you guys in another video. Peace.